Hey everybody, welcome back to another video with Gem Mint Masters. We have an exciting one for you here today. Definitely an order I've been anticipating for quite some time. We have a PSA reveal of an order that's got a lot of Michael Jordan stuff in it. I know I did my kind of low-end Michael Jordan series recently, but this has kind of, step up type of cards in it. There's actually a few pretty big ones in here too. There's some pretty big non-Michael Jordan stuff in here too. And I've seen the grades on this, and this is the type of order, I don't want to spoil it too much, but I'll just say this is the type of order that makes me want to keep grading and grading and grading. Because I enjoy doing it. Not only that, but when you can get a return like this, not only, some really great grades, but because there's some lower ones in here too, obviously, but, just the return you're going to see on some of this stuff. And this is why I don't necessarily do it for the financial return, but I do it for the pride, I'll say, of being able to take kind of a low-end, cheap card and turn it into something super valuable. Just knowing that I did that myself, it's just a really cool feeling. So anyway, enough sappy talk there. I've got a really awesome order, like I said. A good amount of Michael Jordan stuff in here. And then I've got some other stuff. We got some Shaq. We got some Lamar Jackson. We got some modern football. A whole bunch of different stuff. So I'll go ahead and just get through it, and we'll go from there. There is some low-end Michael Jordan stuff, but there's also some kind of step-up type of stuff, like I said, as well. Alrighty, first card we got. This is an 8, 1992 Upper Deck. I subbed 2 of this card. This is a pretty nice card. It's probably like 100 plus in a PSA 10. It's just a really cool, iconic looking card. I still grade stuff like this just because, again, I want to have this stuff in my collection, and it's just an iconic pose, an iconic card. Gravitating more toward the cards that are going to produce a little bit more value. And this is kind of the lower end of a card that would do that, $150 or $200, something like that. On a card you can buy for a couple bucks. So when I go to shows, when I'm on eBay and I see nice, good-looking, clean copies, I'll pick these up all the time. But in an 8, not the most sought after, but surprisingly, we're getting to that time of year with the National coming up, and even PSA 8s, and especially Michael Jordan. These actually sell pretty well. So not too much of a losing proposition when you get to an 8 on certain types of cards. So you'll see, based on some of the values I put up there, you'll kind of get a good sense of the ones that make sense. All right, next one here, we got a modern football card. I got a Brian Thomas Absolute Orange Mosaic Signature here out of 75. I actually picked this up at a show recently. I had a table at a show, and somebody brought this up, and I think I paid about 40 bucks for it. I think there's still some value in this PSA 9. It's Brian Thomas, it's an autograph, kind of short, low numbered. It is absolute, which is kind of the lower end, but super cool looking card in my opinion. I think the colors go really well, to be honest. The orange and it almost has like the Dolphins look to it, but yeah, so that's a pretty cool one. I will be selling that one, but yeah, no, anytime I can pick up that kind of stuff with some nice value, I'll definitely do that. All right, we have the next Michael Jordan, same card, the number 23. We also got an 8 on this one, so we got 8s on both of those. I don't know. I thought they looked really good, so I'm not 100% sure what, kind of where I got the 8s on these. I've emphasized surface so many times on a lot of my videos, especially with this older stuff, and that's definitely an area I pay close attention to, so potentially missed something there, or maybe I missed something somewhere else. I'm not sure, but they both got an 8. So, yeah. I've heard something interesting lately. I'm not going to say this is a fact, but it's an interesting thing to point out. Some people have said that when you send too many of a similar type of card, or you send too much of a certain year or player, graders can potentially get grading fatigue, and they look at the same card over and over again. They might see the exact same thing. So if you got one that you think is better, they might seem exactly the same. So you might be getting a lower grade on a card that you think is a higher grade. Again, kind of an obscure type of mentality there, but there might be some sense to that. But yeah, so I again, I've said this before too. I try not to send too many of the same card on one order because I really don't want to, you know, jeopardize something like that. I try to split it up as much as I can, and you'll see in my Michael Jordan series, it did that. All right, next one here. This one is a pretty cool one. This is a little bit of a step up. We got a 1998 Finest PSA 9. I submitted about 5 or 6 of this card. I actually, you know, going back to my point I just said, I think my next order has 4 of them on it. So we'll test that theory out in real time and see how we did. Maybe I'm going to shoot myself in the foot here. But, all right. But anyway, we got a 9 on this one. A super cool card in a 9. Definitely some good value in a 9 on something like this. And for the price you can pick it up. This is one where you can feel good about a 9 when you get it. And that's just it. Like I said before, I mean, you're going to pay $2-3 on somebody's lower end. If you get a 9, it's not going to pay off. You can pay $15 to $20 on some of the other cards. You get a 9 and it actually will pay off and you'll make money. So it's, you know, something to think about is, you know, where do you want to kind of focus your attention? Either way, the Michael Jordan cards will sell. But if you want to maximize your value, think about that. Think about, you know, do some research on not only the gem rates, but, you know, sales history. Like, does a card like this or like this, and then, you know, take a PSA 9 example, what does it sell for? What does it sell for? What does it cost to get it? And then what does the grading cost? Because the grading cost is going to be exactly the same on both of these cards. So you're almost going to have the same cost basis on these 2 cards. But hey, maybe this PSA 9 sells for $50 more than that one does. So something to think about. All right, so a PSA 9 on Michael Jordan, I'll never complain about that. Speaking of, we got another PSA 9 here, 1991 Upper Deck, which in my opinion would have been even harder than this one to gem. This again is another really cool looking card, iconic pose, base card out of the set. Base cards do a lot better resale than you know, your kind of subsets and inserts within a set. Well, I take that back. I'm not going to say inserts because there's a lot of really good inserts out there. Subsets, I think, is more of the one I would say, like your 91 Fleer, your 92 Fleer, like those have a lot of subset cards. And what a subset, what I mean by subset is kind of a set with within the set, another card within the set. This is number 44. Maybe there's a number 100, there's a number 168 or whatever it may be. The kind of more base card of the set is going to be the more valuable and sought after one. So this one here, again, PSA 9, not going to complain too much on that. But again, the low end stuff, you get into those lower grades, it's going to be a little tougher. All right, this next one here, I've got actually a few of these. I think are they all in order? Nope, most of them. I don't know if this was a good idea or a bad idea, but I thought it'd be fun either way. I found some gold medallion cards at a show recently. They all looked really clean. I was a little surprised by the grades on these, to be honest. Never graded gold medallions. I probably never will again, unless maybe it's Michael Jordan, but we got a Hakeem Olajuwon here. This one came back at 8. In a 9, there's really a good amount of value in these type of cards. And I went through a bunch of these, and I only really submitted the kind of stars, Hall of Famers of the bunch. So I've got 4 of them in here, and you'll kind of see. So I've got an 8 on this one. I would have hoped for a little bit better on that, but no, I guess I can't complain too much. But if you look at that card, you know, when I was holding it up there, super clean looking cards. I would not have submitted these otherwise because there were a bunch that I definitely did not submit. This is the gold medallion, not as rare as the platinum, but still super short print. Hard to find. And not only that, look at the pop counts. Crazy low on these things. Next one here, I'm actually pretty happy with this one here. Reggie Miller from that same set, 1998. We did get a 9 on this one. Pretty decent value in a 9. So like I said, I mean, if I could pick up these cards for $1 and I knew they were really clean, had good shot at getting a 9, potentially a 10, I'd probably submit these all the time. I mean, these are really cool. Again, I paid $1 for each one of these. You know, when you can pick up a card for $1 and you can turn it into something pretty substantial, I mean, that's pretty awesome. So, and just to show you, it says gold medallion right on the back there, if you're wondering kind of how you differentiate it. And it's also in the number as well. And the card is gold, so that was probably one of the dumbest things I probably ever said. But anyway, next one here, we got a Jason Kidd. We got an 8 on this one. So we've got Hakeem Olajuwon, Reggie Miller, Jason Kidd, and I think we have Ray Allen in here as well. So, you know, again, I looked at these. They all looked really clean. There were some that I did reject. But unfortunately, we got an 8 on this one as well. Super cool. Jason Kidd, player, coach, you know, good collector market for Jason Kidd and these other guys. So that's kind of the reason why I did it. All right, next one here, we have 1 of 3 Topps Golds. We got this number 384. Topps reigning scoring leader, Topps Gold. We got an 8 on this one. Not a ton of value, but definitely more value than the base card. And these are not expensive by any means. These are $5 or $6 all day. I actually picked one up recently for $6, shipped. That was with shipping and everything. You can pick these up at shows for $3 to $4. This particular card right here, it's interesting. I found the centering is amazing on almost all of them. So I don't know what they did differently with this one, but there's a lot of there's probably like 3 or 4 more cards in this set that have gold parallels. Centering is very iffy on them, but for some reason, this particular card right here, centering is really good, but unfortunately we got an 8 on that one. All right, next one here. This is, I believe, the Total D. I am happy with this one. This is the Total D second year. You know, you have the black border Total D that's worth like $10,000 or something crazy. But this one is pretty cool as well, in my opinion. This card you can pick up for a few bucks, and to get a 9 on this, man, I'm really happy. Gold border all the way around. You've got gold here. So when you're grading a card like this, look at the edges all the way around. You know, that's obviously first and foremost. But this gold here, look for any wear on there. And this one doesn't really have much, if any, wear on there. I'll try to kind of show. You can see that it's still really clean and nice. So, you know, there's obviously something that showed to get a 9, but I'm happy with a 9, to be honest. This is a card that I think carries a good amount of value. And it's hard to get 9s on Michael Jordan stuff even, you know, so I'm happy with that. All right, speaking of, next one here, we got a Michael Jordan Fleer Ultra. We got a 10 on this one, 1993 Ultra, Gem Mint 10. I'm super pumped on this one. We got 2 of these in this order. I think I paid about $2 a piece. And this card carries a ton of value in relation to that. Around, I don't know, I'll put it up on the screen, but I think it's somewhere around the 160 to 175 range on this one. And to pick it up for $2, that's pretty awesome. Again, another base card, iconic, you know, base card, an iconic pose right over Charles Barkley. Collectors like this card a lot. This one definitely carries a lot more value than, you know, some of those upper deck ones I showed, but this is a really cool one, so I'm excited. That one will be going in my collection. Trying to keep at least one of every Jordan card I could find in there in a PSA 10. And yeah, so all right, next one here, we got another Topps Gold, and we did get a Gem Mint on this one. Like I said, the centering on these is really good. This copy must have looked amazing because it got a 10, and I'm really excited about this. Like I said, this card can be bought for $4 or $5. It's a $250 card. It's crazy. So, you know, you think about it from a multiplier standpoint. You know, you hear a lot of things about modern cards getting a 2x, maybe a 3x. This is a 10x. This is a 10x. $25 to $250. So, you know, that's really the potential in this stuff. But again, you gotta weigh the risks, and you gotta put in the research, put in the time, to be able to get yourself to that point. But it's a heck of a lot harder to get the Gem Mint 10 on these, as you can see from the gem rates. But if you find a clean copy, I don't care what the card is, if the copy is clean, you should feel confident submitting it. You know, PSA does give out PSA 10s on older stuff. They just do. Look at, I'm holding it right here. It's proof. So it can be done. Again, it's tough, but if you do it the right way, you'll get there. All right, next one here. This is the last and final of our golds, and we got another 8. So we got 2 8s and 1 10. The 10 is staying in my collection. I am super happy about that. You know, it was worth a try, and like I said, these cards all looked really good, all very nicely centered. I thought the surfaces all looked really good. You know, I may have missed something here and there, but you know, we did something right. We got a 10 on one of them. So again, an 8 of that type of card is going to hold a little bit more value, but we really want to, you know, shoot for 9s and 10s would be ideal. All right, next one here. This is an interesting story. Victor Wembanyama Silver Prism. This is the card I did a couple videos on where I opened up some value packs, got the Silver Prism Wemby, had a ding in it, and I sent it back. Took almost a year. I think it might have taken just about a year to get it back. Subbed it, and we now got it back, and we got a 9. This was a great looking card. There was like a little tiny blemish over here on the edge, which I was like, man, if they're gonna dock me for that, it probably might not get a 10, but you know, I'm happy with a 9. Still a pretty valuable card, very nicely centered, very clean. I'm just happy to finally have it back. That was quite an arduous process, and yeah, I would love obviously for it to be a 10, but you know, I mean, a 9 is still pretty solid, and it's a really nice looking card. So you know, again, if you haven't seen the videos on that, go back and check it out. I think this is now the 3rd video that this card has made. So it's been quite a journey. All right, next one here, another interesting story. I'd have to go back and maybe I'll try to link out the original video on this, but this is a Lamar Jackson Field Level 2018 Silver Select. So this is rookie, kind of similar to the Silver Prism from Prism, but not quite as valuable. That one is insanely valuable for some strange reason. I think it's just super low gem rates, low pop, all that stuff. But I had this on an old order. I got an 8 on it. I thought it was an amazing, perfectly clean, no issues card. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to try one more time and resub it. I don't know. I shout from the rooftops how amazing PSA is, but this one was just a little baffling to me because I got it back and I got a 10. I thought it deserved a 10 the first time. I'm ecstatic that it has a 10 now, but you know, I'm just a little confused on why it didn't get the 10 the first time, but it's in its rightful place now, I guess. Super amazing card, super valuable card. One of a few cards that's really going to drive the value of this entire order. As you can see on the screen there, that one is one of those type of cards that is in my opinion, a long-term investment card. It's a rare, you know, kind of short print of that set. It's the hardest one to get. It is a silver PSA 10, kind of low population. Just a great card to have. So I'm just happy to have it back. All right, next one here. This is an amazing card. I was looking forward to this. I actually have already traded this card to somebody, but we got the 1995 Finest PSA 9. I am happy with that. I talked about this card on a few of my videos. This is a really hard card to find centered. And I found a few centered copies and I peeled all of them because any cards that I come across, the peels don't look great and they grade the peel. So if you want to keep it unpeeled, that's amazing. There's a little bit more value in it, but if the peel doesn't look amazing, then I wouldn't do that. So I've so far to this point peeled all the finest cards that I've gotten. And I'm happy with the PSA 9. So good amount of value in that one, as you can see here on the screen. But like I said, I already traded this. I traded this for a PSA 10 of kind of a lower end card as I try to kind of build up my Michael Jordan collection. I think I have 2 or 3 more of these coming back too. So hopefully we'll get, we'll get another 9 or maybe even a 10. All right, next one here, another modern football card, Bo Nix Green Mosaic. I just picked this up for about $4 not that long ago. Man, Mosaic is tough. Mosaic's tough graders. I don't know. I try not to submit as much of the Mosaic anymore, to be honest. I haven't had the best success with it. Centering is a little tough to judge, and I don't know what else they really look at, but I've got a lot of 9s in Mosaic. This is a card that's probably not going to be a winner in terms of value, but this might be one I wait a little bit for, closer to the season, sell it, and hopefully, hope for a break even. But super cool card, Bo Nix. Still a lot of hype on him from last year, and carrying over into it. All right, we got another football card here. We got Malik Nabers. We got the green Hyper. We got a 10 on this one. I pulled this out of a mega box on this channel, actually. This was probably the only good card I pulled out of there, and I'm glad I submitted it because I might get my money back now. So that's a good one. I've gotten pretty much away from ripping packs just because I have not had the best success. I've had some good success stories, but overall, probably not, winning proposition as opposed to buying singles. But super excited to have a PSA 10. Nice looking card. Not a color match, but for some reason, just it goes nicely. So super cool card. That one will be going up for sale. So keep an eye out. Next one here, we got two of the same card. And I was talking about fineness with the peel. I thought the peel on these looked good, so I left them. Dirk Nowitzki, finest rookie, 1998. And we got an 8. So I don't know if it's the peel. I don't know what it is. I left the protector on this one and the next one. We got an 8 card I got out of a dollar box. I thought there was some good value if I could get this graded. In an 8, probably not. In a 9, I think it actually would have been a pretty solid return. But super cool card, Dirk Nowitzki, rookie card. So a little bummed we got 8s, but again, cool looking card. And like I said, we got another one. And we got an 8 on that one too. Again, kind of going back to my theory of not submitting the same types of cards. You're going to get the same grades. I should listen to my own advice sometimes, but you live and learn, I guess. So another Dirk Nowitzki, another 8. But again, super cool looking card. I'm sure Nowitzki collectors would love to have those. So those will be up for sale. Here's another optic, Jordan Addison. We got the orange. I've had really good success on optic, to be honest, but this one I didn't get the 10. We got a 9. Still probably some nice value and a numbered card. I know Jordan Addison has had some issues, but I think hopefully those will be cleared up. This one I do plan on selling. Hopefully we'll be able to get our money back on this. Really cool looking card. I just love the optic and the numbered parallels. So an optic orange, Jordan Addison. Pretty cool looking. Bo Nix would look even better, I'm sure, in that orange. All right, next one here. Another Michael Jordan Ultra, and we are 2 for 2. 2 Gem Mint 10s. This is a card that carried this order very nicely. 2 cards that we paid about $2 a piece, and we got 2 10s, around $160, $170 a piece. Super cool. Keeping one of these, I'll probably put one of them up for sale and or trade into, some other cards, but definitely excited to keep one of those in the collection. And all right, 2 more cards here. I'm saving the best one for last. Here's our last gold medallion. This is our Ray Allen, and we got an 8 on that one as well. So 3 out of the 4, we got 8s. We did get a 9, which is nice. Again, I thought these cards looked amazing. I didn't really see anything wrong with them, so I don't know what I missed. Surface looks great. Corners look great. Yeah, I mean, you look at the back, very clean corners and really no whiting on there or anything. So I don't know. Maybe they just grade these really hard. Foil looks good. There's a lot of indentation on this card because it's kind of embossed, and maybe they kind of mistook some of that for a crease or something. I don't really know, but I thought these cards look really cool. I may or may not submit some of these in the future. Maybe some kind of higher end players like Michael Jordan, I obviously would, but yeah. So again, super cool cards. I love those. Those bring back a lot of memories. And then the Piece de Resistance, the one card that really drove probably half of the return on this order. Shaquille O'Neal. This is the trade card. And look at that beauty right there. We got a 10. I had this card when I was a kid. I remember pulling the trade card, 2 of them actually, out of packs, sent them in, got the cards back. Long gone by now. I got rid of those, but I was at a show 3-4 months ago. Found this card. It's another super interesting story on this one. Bought it for about $6 from a dealer table. I took it out, looked at it, looked really clean. Either way, I was probably going to walk away with it. But I was like, man, this looks nice. So I sent it. Came back a min size. You'll see it on one of my last videos. And I was like, what the heck? So I measured it up against other cards. Did not look like there was anything wrong with it at all. So I resent it and we got a 10. This is a monster card. $6 plus the grading fee. Turn this sucker into a $650, $700 card. So excited. I'm really torn on what to do with this. I'm not a huge Shaq collector. I do collect some Shaq, but I'm more of a Michael Jordan collector. Do I trade it for a Michael Jordan card? Do I keep this? The gem rate, as you can see on this one, insanely low. I might even throw the pop count up there just to give you a sense of how many of these cards there are. It's insanity. So I'm super excited about that one. That one made my day, I will say. So yeah, this was a fun order. It's given me a lot of hope for a lot of these orders I have out there. I've got a lot of Michael Jordan orders out there. If I can come even close to this, I'll be super happy. Not only for my own collection, but for, you know, some of the stuff I'm able to sell, to be able to keep doing this. You know, appreciate the support from everybody watching as well. Hopefully you're enjoying this as much as I am. So another great return, super fun. Love doing this stuff. So, you know, drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Would love to hear what you guys are doing, and many more of these type of videos to come. So appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on the next one.